It's been trans March 31st has been Trans Visibility Day since I think it was 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. And then this year, the president of the United States has declared March 31st to be Trans Visibility Day. Because if it was
Uh,
from the 70s, wouldn't they have called it like cross something?
right, right. They would have called it. They would have called it Lola Day, or
the,
uh,
what the Colonel Klinger Day is what they would have called it.
Did you hit record on your OBS?
I did.
Okay. All right, Ben, I missed you so much, and I know because I was texting you, telling you, and you're like, "Leave me alone."
I was trying to get on, and you just refused. You're like, "I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you. I don't want you on my show anymore." I was like, "I'll just give you a break."
I didn't say that. You said, "Leave me alone. I'm eating ham with my family," and then I'm like, "Did you get any eggs?" And you're like, "I said, leave me alone, or I'm getting a restraining order." No. Ben's back, and I missed him, and we were actually talking about some other stuff too. I don't want to get into this right now, but we're going to be putting a video up tomorrow. Ben is going through some legal things, and some of you have heard about it. We posted stuff on it before, but I just want to make something clear. Ben and I don't see eye to eye on everything, but I do defend his right to say whatever he wants to, because I believe in the Constitution. He's laughing at me like, "Hey, don't get into it right now then, Troy." All right. What's so funny?
It's funny.
Okay. Which all I'm saying is, okay, let's move on.
Distancing from Ben. Just got to distance ourselves. It's safer.
I'm not. No, I believe, no, not at all. I just have a different approach to forget all that. Let's go. All right. So you sent me a link about garments. Do you have that link?
I thought we were doing
training first. All right, training day.
Why? Okay, so let me bring up that article. Can I bring up that article?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it. Okay, Washington Post. You see the lovely first couple. It seems like this bunny. Wait, isn't this an older picture?
I don't know.
That's from 2023. Yeah, because remember, this is where that bunny.
Last year,
the bunny was like, everyone said the bunny was Secret Service because the bunny pulled him away. The bunny's like, "Nah, you're done talking, buddy. We got to go.
It makes sense.
Let's go hunt some Easter eggs. Let's go." Right. The bunny is like, he's packing. He's got guns underneath there.
Yeah.
Crazy. So okay, so what happened yesterday? I just barely found out. Sorry, not yesterday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Ben.
Oh, you're asking me. Okay. So,
yeah. Tell me, when do you want me to scroll? You want me to read this?
Oh, I haven't. Okay. Well, maybe you can, if you've read that article, you can kind of direct us on that one. But
okay.
Just overall, it's been March 31st has been Trans Visibility Day since I think it was 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. And then this year, the president of the United States has declared March 31st to be Trans Visibility Day. And
yeah, but how long has that been a thing? Because
March
when I
31st, so with the president, this is the first year for the president, but it has been like, you know how they have like today's National Donut Day.
Right.
March 31st has been Trans Visibility Day for
like 1970, I think.
Well, maybe the
research
that I saw, it was only about 10 years old. But
they're mixing. What they're doing is what they like to do is converge. Is that the right term?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Something over and going, well, this is,
because if it was from the 70s, wouldn't they have called it like cross something?
Right. They would have called it Lola Day, or
the Colonel Klinger Day is what they would have called it.
That was funny too. My grandpa used to laugh his butt off. My grandpa was born in 1916. He is not here with us anymore, but I was raised by a man that was born in 1916. And when he would watch, not to get off of it, but he'd watch MASH. But you know how MASH would sometimes go into like where it wasn't funny, they would go into some drama sometimes.
Yeah.
They were talking about, I remember this, my grandpa sitting there on the couch. He fought in World War II. And they were talking about Prime Minister Winston Churchill. And my grandfather was crying, was in tears. And I remember at him, I didn't talk much because my grandpa didn't want to be talked to unless you had something very important to say. And he stood up, and I remember him crying and him saying to himself that he was a good man. But my grandpa didn't understand conspiracy either. So
Sure.
Anyway, but still, you know, I don't know much about Winston Churchill. We're not getting into that right now, but it's funny.
I'm glad you don't get sidetracked. That's good.
Yeah, I don't. You're the one that's sidetracked. I'm always on cue. You. Okay, so what were we
so
talking about?
they've been doing it for a while, but this was the first year that the president of the United States has said that we need to be aware of the cross-dressers, and because nobody knew they existed until now, and they're not, being shoved down our face on television and music and movies, and so they have to make a day that says, just like, and so he declared that day, and so a lot of people are freaking out because it just happened to fall upon Easter, but it won't be Easter every year because Easter is not always on March 31st, and so I think some of it was a lot of fake drama because that he chose to start it on Easter happening to be the same day. But next year, March 31st will not be on Easter because Easter is based on the moon as opposed to the calendar day of the week.
Right.
And
yeah.
so,
and when I say converging, because I looked it up, I said, when did this start? It said 1970, I think. No, that's that could be gay pride or whatever that they kind of said, well, this is the same thing. I don't know. But they said the last time this happened was 2013. So basically in this article, they're trying to reassure Christians. This isn't something that happens every Easter.
right.
But the conservatives are saying, and I guess Trump and his administration, their argument is, why couldn't you move it? Why can't we have that moved every 13 years or 14 years? Trans Day of Visibility. Right. Because
I think it shows that we're not a Christian nation anymore.
Exactly.
Is what it's saying. And, that's out in the open. And I think the more that's exposed is helpful. But, to me, the idea that we would have it any day, even if it wasn't on Easter, the fact that it exists, I don't want it any day. Why is my government saying that they're representing me, right? The consent of the governed, saying that I now back this idea of being aware of something? Like, do we have, criminal awareness day? Do we have adulterer awareness day? What, visibility day? These are, why are we, if we had, a day that was, a national day, I guess Easter is a national day. They're doing it, but they've made it about the Easter bunny. They're not having, a Passion of the Christ day at the Capitol, at the
Right.
White House. Can you imagine if they did have a Passion of the Christ, celebration at the White House? What kind of insanity? Nobody cares about Easter because of the way that it's, being a national holiday, because it's about the Easter bunny and about the Easter eggs, and it's not about the resurrection. And so, but if it was about the resurrection, everybody, all these people that are saying we need to have trans would be losing their minds if we had Resurrection Day.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And then one of the examples given of why it should stay is to protect the marginalized or protect the rights of all citizens.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now, where do we go wrong? We do believe the Constitution is there to protect the small voices, right? But where does that get wiggly.
Well, we don't need a holiday then. If everybody is equal under the law, then we don't need a day to focus on the so-called marginalized. Do we have, a national day to recognize the oppression of the Latter-day Saints during the 1800s? No, of course we
Right.
don't.
Right.
It's not about the marginalized.
right. Because
It's about promoting, and I call it, it's a supremacy movement. They are trying to suppress the natural family, and they are trying to make a supremacy movement. They always, complain, they always talk about white supremacy. No, this is the minority supremacy movement. They're trying to put it above everything else and have it be above everything else, and squash the natural family.
right. Because if you're going to talk about the equal rights for everyone and everyone having a voice, like you said, it that's absurd to think that everyone needs a holiday too. Well, but
we
then
already do. It's called the Constitution, Declaration of Independence. We have Independence Day. That is the protection of everybody's God-given rights. That is not, we don't need a holiday for everyone because we already have a holiday for everyone.
Right. And you would say the percentage of LGBTQ people, I think it's less than 1.5%. I think it's even less than 1%. Because I did look it up, but I don't believe all the stats on that.
Sure.
It depends on where you're getting it from. Could be the same as the K. Okay. So does the KKK get, well, but they'll lie about that. Google lies about the percentage of white supremacy. But I said specifically the KKK, they said 7% of the United States. No, I don't think so. I do not think so. So that's my point. Are they going to give them a national holiday? Because they would love to have a national holiday. Just ask them.
Right.
They'll be right there to sign the papers. So, yeah. All right. So enough about that.
So there, just kind of maybe I just looked it up. Actually, it's kind of maybe can I share this real quick?
Yep.
So I thought this was actually funny along the point you just made about the percentages.
So I need to let me stop sharing. Then you share.
So this is on usfacts.org. I don't know. This is according to a survey done in 2022, I think it was, and it says that we have 47% identify as male, 49% as female. Then you've got 1% transgender, and then you've got there are more people that say they're not female or male than there are trans.
Yeah.
And so 1.4. I don't even know what that means, but I thought that was pretty funny.
That's called Marxism. That's a new thing. It's a new thing. All right. It's a fad. And it's not just a fad. It's a dehumanization, right? Of people.
It's a dangerous fad. There are so many people that are recovering from it that are just horrified at the mutilation that they've done to their bodies.
Right.
And that they were, basically forced into it as a teenager before their body had even fully developed. And they were able to make, I can't get a credit card, but sure, I can mutilate my body parts. What kind of nonsense is this?
Right. So I wanted to exactly. And I looked at my wife when I found this out. I didn't know that this was national. What did they call it? National
trans awareness or trans visibility. Sorry.
Okay. And I did not know that. But then when I found it out from my brother, I looked at Andrea and I said, you want to bring on the second coming real quick? Do something like this. And I had no idea that this happened in 2013, but nobody cared because it wasn't talked about as much.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a thing, but now it's a thing. And it's a big thing. Before we end on this subject, because I
wonder if NAMBLA is going to have their own national holiday soon.
Oh gosh, that's horrible. But you will see a lot of LGBTQ people saying that they don't connect with that one.
That's a cover.
I know
the statistics say otherwise.
Right.